Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been doing a series of video presentations for the Rankin Technical College AWD Application and Web Development 1111 .NET Framework with Web Databases class. Our textbook is the Lee Naylor text, ASP.NET MVC with Entity Framework and CSS. I am toward the end of Chapter 8. I had to kludge, or basically force my last example to work by actually copying the authors in. I hate doing that, but I didn't know any other way to go on. So the author says here, I'm up to page 327. A couple of tasks remain to be dealt with in regard to the basket. We need to migrate the basket to use the current user's username as the basket ID when they log in or when a new user registers. This will retain the user's basket even when they log out from the site. That was one of the things we said we wanted to do, in our requirements at the beginning of the chapter. To migrate the basket when a user logs in, we need to modify the login method of controller's account controller.css. We're going to add code that migrates a user's basket to use their name rather than the GUID. So we also need to address the scenario whereby a new user logs in without a previous user logging out. We don't want the basket to migrate to the other user. This can occur if a user is redirected to the login page if they try to access the admin page. In that case, we don't want to migrate the basket to the admin user. That would make sense. We want it to stay with the original user. So modify the account controller class to add the code shown here in bold that is on the bottom of page 327, and then we'll add some more on the top of page 328. So this is right after the is valid thing. So we want to go into the account controller class, the login method. So again, this literally is the login method, all right? That's what we're talking about here. So this is in the post. So right here, right after, and let's take a look at the comment. Check if a user is previously logged in without logging out. This can occur. This is kind of what we just read. For example, if a logged in user is directed to the admin page. In other words, we're trying to make sure that we are associating this. All right. We're trying to make sure that we are associating this with the user, not with an admin if they happen to go out to the admin account. All right. Then, after that switch statement, this sign in success, right now there's just a redirect here, or I'm sorry, a return. We want to change that. Again, if you're following along in the textbook, I'm on page 328. So we want to add all of this code before the return statement. This is needed to ensure that the previous user's basket, whoops, it's interesting, is not carried over. All right, we talked about that before. If there was no previously logged in user, migrate the basket from the GUID or GUID to the username. Now, the author says here, to see the effect of this code, start the website without debugging, add some products without logging in. All right. Then log in as user2 And the basket ID property for each basket line should now have migrated to the new user. So what does that mean? Easiest way is to try it. So we will again come in here. Let's go to our basket, views, and the index. Let's right mouse click, view it in the browser. And it looks as though we want to continue shopping here because our cart probably right now will be empty. I am producing the previous presentation, which is probably what's slowing this up so much. All right, so continue shopping. We want to come in to here and add 3. Add the basket. Continue shopping. Come over to here. Again, add 3. The basket. All right. Then, according to this, we want to log in because we're not logged in, I believe, right now. It just says your basket. It doesn't have anything about the user. So let's log in. All right, we want to come in as user 2 at MVC Baby Store dot wrong. User 2 at mvcbabystore.com with a password P @ SSW0RD1. Now, I may have typed that in wrong. P @ SSW0RD1. Now, if I don't have that particular user up there, this isn't going to work. That's why I'm probably getting the invalid login attempt. How about if we register? We'll put here user 2 at mvcbabystore.com, and for a password we'll put P @ SSW0RD1, and to confirm P @ SSW0RD1. Register. See if it lets us register. Does it want us to save it? Sure, I don't really care. Hello, user. Your basket. See that? So it has equated those. The other thing, as I close this, I should be able to do is come back to my code, right mouse click on the basket lines table. Let's refresh. Right mouse click on the basket lines table and show the table data. This is what's shown on the middle of page 329. Now I don't see it here. So I'm not sure if that actually worked or didn't work. So that's fine. Let's try to do this. Let's close this. I'm going to close a whole bunch of stuff that I've got up right now. I wanted the index here open. So right mouse click, we're going to try this again. Alright, I'm going to view that in the browser in just a second. Alright, notice it's got this, so now I'm logging off. So now I'm not logged in. Now I want to log in, user 2, okay, log in. Okay, it now has me back associated with this. And what I'm going to try to do is to come back to here. Let's refresh again, right mouse click, show my table data. There it is. In fact, they both were in here, I guess. There it is. There they both are. Those are the ones that I just created. I guess they did a 2 and a 3, and I did a 3 and a 3. It's no big thing. But you can see it now is associated with an account. And if we log out of the website, so if we log out, so if I log off here, all right, and after I do that, I get out. So now I'm totally out of the website. I come back to here and I refresh. You'll notice that that information is kept in here. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen. Next, we are told to go in and modify. I just did that, and you saw that. There's a 6, 2, and 5, 3, but you know there's 3 of each, so I don't know what's going on there. But they want us to go in. It says it still shows the items as belonging to that. To fix this issue, it is necessary to ensure that the session key is updated on logging out. Modify the log off method of the account controller class. So let's close this. There's our account controller class. We already made some changes to the login right here. We added this, and then we added under our case statement, we added this. All right. There's register, firm email, forgot password. There's log off post, authenticate. Right before this return here, we want to add that session.abandon. This abandons the current session when the user logouts and ensures that any user who follows the logged in user cannot see what was previously in the basket. All right, that's the top of page 330. All right. Okay. Migrating the basket upon registration. So I'm on the last 3 pages of the chapter. Those are 330, 331, and 332. So as the author says here, it is also necessary to migrate the basket to a user's email address when a new user registers. A new user may have added items to the anonymous basket, and in order to make a purchase, they must register. Very similar to the way it's set up. For example, if you use Amazon, you can go in there and anonymously add it whatever you want to a basket, but before you go in to pay, you have to log in. Therefore, after they have registered, we need to ensure they do not lose the contents of their shopping cart. Modify the register, the HTTP post of the register so that it contains code for migrating. And that's these 2 lines here. All right, so there's the register. Here is the post. We want to go down after the if statement that has, it's funny that only has one await. Await var user. If result dot succeeded. There should be 2 await statements there according to this. There's the await. So according to that, right here, we want to add this. All right, so we want to save this. We should be able to close this particular one that's up right now. I want to go back again. To my index. Sorry. View it in the browser. I don't want to be logged in, so if it does recognize me as being logged in, I want to log off. All right, your basket, so I'm not. Add some items to the basket. All right, so let's continue shopping. And let's add something we haven't added before so it does look different. So we'll do this, and we'll just add one of those, and then we will go back and continue shopping. We will go to the second page here, and we will add, let's say, 5 of these. All right, so now you can see there's our basket. Okay, again, it looks a little funky because of the size. There we go. All right. Now register as a new user. All right, so register. Email. This, they want it to be a user 5 instead of user. Well, we don't have all the fields that are shown, though, unfortunately. So, but I am going to try this. Click register. should get me in here and it should change this. Not sure why in the register I don't have all that stuff in there. But notice I'm user 5. I should be able to get out of here now. All right. I should be able to go back into here. Before I do my basket lines, let's refresh. And in basket lines, let's look at show table data. And I should have user 5. And you can see that I do. So that all worked. The only thing that's different is I don't have the big thing for registering that is shown on page 331. All right. This was, in many ways, seemed like a longer chapter than the one that was over 100 pages long. All right. What I would like to do right now, and I cheated a little bit, go over to my Team Explorer, and I actually came in here and wrote this Friday before I left. Chapter 8 completed. In this chapter, you saw how to create a shopping basket, allow the user to anonymously add and remove items from the basket, and update the quantity of items in the basket. Use the ASP.NET model binding to bind to a list in order to update the basket. Display a basket summary using the HTML action helper method to call an action from a different controller and include its output in another view. Migrate the basket from using a randomly generated GUID to be associated with a real user. So I think that's pretty much what we did do. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, put that in here, pretty it up a little bit if need be. All right, that's everything that I put in. So I'm going to commit all. It's been committed. I go to Actions, I go to View History, and there's my Chapter 8 completed. All right. So when I come back to for my next lecture, I will be jumping into Chapter 9, which is creating and viewing orders. And I'll be back with that in just a couple minutes.